Well, so I've wandered off the beaten path here in Almaty. In Almaty. So I don't know here. There's probably some factory or something is avoided or something here. But this is the off the beaten path here. But anyway, none of these videos would have been possible without the help of my good friend. I am a Singaporean traveler on a mission to explore all 15 former Soviet republics. This journey will take us off the beaten path to places where few travelers ever venture. From the Baltic states to the Caucasus and deep into Central Asia, join me as we uncover the hidden stories and landscapes of the former USSR. I'm at Almaty train station, and today we have an 18-hour train journey here to Turkestan. And I've been interested in Turkestan because there's a lot of history in Turkestan. So we're gonna go there. Alright, our train is here. Let's go to the train here.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so basically we have it here. This is me. Alright, what we have ourselves here is it's very tight here. This is a third class ticket. So I barely fit in here. I barely fit in here. Alright, I'm trying to have a drink here. I could barely have a drink. I could barely fit here. I can't have a drink standing up. Sit down. I have to have a drink halfway lying down. Right, I've been lying here for quite some time. And it's actually very stuffy here, very warm, very hot here. So I need to ditch my jacket. We are passing through deserts of grasslands here, which made up majority of Kazakhstan. A country that's rich in natural resources here, like oil and gas. Well, a very good morning here from somewhere in Kazakhstan, south of Kazakhstan here. We are traveling from Almaty to Turkestan. But as our train passed through the desert area here, it's not hard to imagine that just about 70 or even 100 years ago, there's a lot of nomads here who would actually fill up this whole land here. It wasn't until the late 1920s and 1930s, at the initiative of the Soviet Union, whereby a lot of the nomads here were actually forced to stay where they are. They were no longer allowed to move with their sheep, their cows, their animals to a different land here. Because the initiative of the Soviet Union at that time was for Kazakhstan to provide rice as well as meat for the rest of the Soviet Union here. And about 80% of the meat and rice that were produced by the Kazakhs were actually given to Moscow and St. Petersburg. Alright, let's check out the train here. Oh, this is different from Indian train. Indian train, as you remember, you can open this here. And this is very loud here. This is the same compartment here, whereby you have your hot water. So I just spoke to this gentleman, as you can see from this clip here, and we were sharing stories about the USSR period. He was telling me that he was working during the Soviet time and how terrible it was during the Soviet time. And so yeah, I've had a lot of interactions here so far in my few days here in Central Asia, especially in Kazakhstan. And it's a good way to practice my Russian as well, if you're speaking to the people. Now, I didn't record a lot of the conversation because we were just having genuine conversation, but people are generally very nice here. Okay. Sure.
Администратор школ.
Да. Что вы думаете, это Астана? Астана?
Астана был?
Нет.
Там сейчас холодно.
Холодно.
Огонь такой.
Нет.
Есть?
Снег.
Есть?
В мою страну нет. Нет.
Там тепло там, да.
Да, тепло, да, очень тепло.
Февраль месяц холодно был.
Затем мы хочу посетить Бишкек, Казахстан. Казахстан, Бишкек, да.
Мумбай, Алматы, самолет, время сколько? 2, 3, 5.
6 часов. Да. Я люблю записать мою страну, да. Это люди, это горы. So we are passing by Chimken. So we should be nearing Turkestan soon. It's been one hell of a journey, 18 hours here. But it has been a great practice. A great place here to practice my Russian. I'm not sure what this area is, but it looks like mining occurred here a couple of decades ago. So we are currently in Shimken and we'll reach Turkestan in about 2 or 3 hours. So we are passing through the desert here from Shimken up north towards Turkestan, and it's not hard to imagine that 100 years ago there will be a lot of nomads here, or pastoral nomadies, who will actually be grazing their sheep, their animals, their domestic animals here. But now you hardly see one. Depending on the season and the time of the year, the nomads here, they would move from one place to another place here, and especially the desert here, which is almost barren majority of the time of the year here. So you will not find a lot of nomads around this area back in the past. There's a company of horses there, and Central Asia is very famous for their horses here. People from India would actually buy horses from Central Asia. The Mughals actually like to buy horses from Central Asia, but it dates back to the Delhi Sultanate as well, because horses from Central Asia are of much better and bigger breed compared to horses that we find in other parts of the world. After 18 grueling hours in the train, we are finally in Turkestan. It is a reconstruction, I believe, or recreation or reimagination of the past empire here. Look at that golden dome there. I'm not sure what that is actually.